Well, we went and gone crazy. Dadgum stink bug. So I still ain't done with this stupid table. But got us a new meat stick. My friends and I, the guys I typically hunt with, Mark, Dan, and Todd, we have been mulling it over for the last couple years to get basically the same rifle in the same cartridge that will sort of kind of be interchangeable for when we go out west and go into the backcountry and all that. So we decided when the 7 PRC came out, it seemed to be a good fit for everything that we wanted to do. I'm in my Ranger panties, so me and the kid went out running. But so forgive my white legs. But we decided to go with the 7 PRC. I've got a 7 mag. I'm a bit of a ballistics nut. And we all hand load. Todd's the newest addition to our little clique, and he went down the rabbit hole hard. He ended up picking up he was the first to get one, so we went down and we got the Christensen Arms Ridgeline FFTs, and he got the regular one, and it's a dandy rifle. It shoots really, really well. Mark, myself, and Dan all opted to go with the carbon, and Mark, I didn't really know when I was going to be able to go down the rabbit hole because I just bought that truck and life, that kind of thing. So, but it worked out to where we all basically did it at the same time. It was Todd got one, shot it, did some load development, so on and so forth. He ended up actually having an issue with his where the very end of the forearm, or the forend rather, split. He had to send it off, and it was gone for a total of 9 days. From the time he sent it off to the time he got it back, everything gone over with a fine-tooth comb, apology letter, hat, t-shirt, stickers, all that kind of stuff. I think it was 9 days. So that was pretty good. Granted, it's not something that should happen, but, stuff happens. So, anyway, Mark ended up picking up a burnt bronze one, which I don't really care. I think the burnt bronze is pretty sexy looking, though, honestly. He wasn't crazy about it at first, but I think it's kind of grown on him. But the color ain't what kills the critters. So, he picked one up, and his initial groups, when we went down for turkey in South Carolina, he was doing pretty well with factory Precision Hunter 175 grain ELDX, which I absolutely hate the ELDX bullet personally. I think it's a trash bullet. It's just a target bullet that's marketed toward hunting. Had nothing but issues on critters with it, but it's what's out there. It's what's available, and it actually shot it really well. So he was putting 5 rounds into about 0.6 of a minute at 300 yards, which is pretty good. He hadn't done any development yet, but I think he's getting into it now. He had some stuff come up and just take him a little bit, but so then I ended up picking one up, and then Dan ended up getting one. So I got the green one. I think it's pretty cool. I didn't really care what color I got. Dan really wanted the gray one. Cool. I didn't really care. So that's the entire lineup as far as colors go. So I just kind of was like, all right, I'll take the green one. I don't care. But I will admit that I think the other two are better looking, but I just don't care. So I already pulled it out, threw it on the scale. I've got Dan's here too because I've got to get it set up for him, and put get the scope, do some load development on his just to kind of confirm everything. We're gonna try really hard to run as our hunting bullet, the 150 Badland Precision bulldozer or something like that. They're supposed to be really good bullets. Real good BCs for those that don't shoot a lot or whatever. So BC stands for ballistic coefficient. Basically, that just boils down to the aerodynamics of the bullet. How long does it maintain the energy at extended ranges? And that's kind of where this cartridge comes into play. The 7 PRC is a new Hornady lineup. It's based off the 375 Ruger, which almost nobody knows about. But they've got an entire little family there with the 6.5 PRC, the 300 PRC, and the newest one being the 7 PRC. So, and Christensen Arms, to my knowledge, builds one of the highest quality factory rifles that you can get in the 7 PRC, and the lightest, which is kind of what we were going for. So, it just, I don't like do a lot of unboxing stuff. I'm going to throw my scope and everything on it, so this is kind of going to be a long video. So it comes with like some earplugs and some crappy Lucas gun oil. I ended up getting a ton of this when I ran the foreign weapons range at Aberdeen Proving Ground. Lucas sent me a ton of this extreme duty gun oil. It's trash. Their CLP is okay, but the gun oil is way too thick. So it's when you go to like O'Reilly's and Advanced Auto Parts and they got bottles of that crap sitting there, don't bother. It sucks. I had, well, probably not gallons, but I had a lot of it. I had 20,000 of these things, and I still got a ton of them. I gave a crap ton of it away. I mean, it'll work better than nothing, than running your gun dry, but it's not very good. The CLP is actually okay, and then they have a gun grease that's literally just marine grade grease. It's nothing special. So it comes with that, some earplugs, and then a spiral fluted bolt with a lightened handle, and then the knob is carbon fiber. This particular gun is, and when you pick them up, I mean they're extraordinarily light. This is the green one. It's got a little green and tan, and I'll probably end up sitting down and losing it, but hopefully not. Stainless steel receiver, and we opted for the carbon. Mark, myself, and Dan opted for the carbon. Dan and I are running factory brakes. I haven't shot it yet, so it is, I'm not really sure on that. Mark swapped his out because he likes to run a suppressor. I don't do the suppressors, but so it's brand new out of the box, so there's nothing in it. It's got a carbon hinged floor plate. It's a Remington 700 action, or based on a Remington 700 long action. But it's light. It's extremely light. So throw it on the scale here. On the old food scale. With the bolt, 5 pounds, 11.6 ounces according to this scale. And this one was like an ounce lighter than the one Dan got. Shouldn't be any difference, but it was an ounce. This one was an ounce lighter. So I've got a seekins. I like seekins precision stuff. Let's see here. All right, so I'm robbing a Trijicon Credo off of an AR. I like the Trijicon stuff. It's and this is one of the newer lineups, but I like it pretty good. The glass is pretty good. Seems pretty good anyway. Made in Japan, MRAD, and it's got a pretty good magnification range, 2.5 to 15. Comes with a handy dandy little knob there. Tenebrex cover. I like it. It's illuminated. It's got a fairly simple mill reticle in it with an illuminated dot, so it doesn't like flood it out. But yeah, I like it. But anyway, so as I was saying, I really like. Oh shucks, what was that? The Seekins Precision bases and rings. And did it come with an extra one? Yeah, I don't know. So I typically don't put a lot of. Let's see here. So this should go like that. So it has an integrated recoil lug in the base there. This is a 20-minute cant. You can tell it's higher in the back than it is up front, and the recoil lug goes up front. I typically don't put, if stuff is torqued right, you really don't need thread locker. Granted, what I'll do is I'll typically, on these guys, I torque to 28 inch-pounds, and there's no really rhyme or reason to it. What's it say? I want to say this was 20. This said 25 inch-pounds, but I'm using the Wheeler fat wrench, and they're really kind of okay, but they're not awesome. And what I do is I'll run it up to about 15 and make sure that the bolt can float pretty good. You don't have any issues with, because sometimes the screws will be too. I bought a worn base one time, and the screws that they sent for that rifle is for a Tikka rifle, and they were too long, straight from the factory, and I pulled the bolt. I went to pull the bolt out after I got everything all mounted up, scope and everything, and the bolt wouldn't move, and I was like, well, what the hell's going on? Turns out the dadgum screws were too long, and I should have checked beforehand before I went all the way and did all that. So, and then I do front to back. I don't know why, I just do. So that is roughly 14, 15 pounds, and then I'll run it up to 20. And do the same thing again. And the reason I don't use thread locker is because I've noticed that no matter whether you use blue or red, red's obviously, are permanent. But I got some blue one time that was pretty doggone permanent. And these torque screws, these are 6x40. Well, number 6. I think it's 6x40. So that was 20. And this is halfway between 25 and 30. So we'll say that's 28. So see, that feels tight. But sometimes they just aren't very good. Like the factory Tikka rings, God, they're terrible. I love Tikka rifles, but man, they really aren't very good at all. So you never leave your torque wrench loaded. You always back him back down. Now, another thing that I do, because I'm weird, is I use a paint pen. And I use yellow because that was our platoon color 20 odd years ago. And what I'll do is I'll give it a mark. Maybe. This paint pen might be toast. A little bit. Well, son of a gun. Yeah, that's good enough. It's just to give me a spot where I'm like, oh, okay, that thing might have shifted, you know what I mean? So this just, gives me a visual indicator in case something does go wrong. Oh man, something's not right or whatever. So check the bolt again. We're golden. That's pretty gritty. So there's your bolt release. And you might have to pull the trigger on this too. Come on. These stupid things. There you go. Yeah. This thing's pretty tight. So some of the older Remingtons, you just push the latch down, and then the newer ones. So this is Ballistol. I don't know. I've been using it for quite some time, 25 years or so. I like it. I use it on machine gun ranges and whatnot. So that's pretty good. I like it. I it's just kind of stuck with me. I've ran it on everything from PKMs, RPKs, AKs, M4s, 240s, M60s. I was really fortunate for from 2012 to about 20, I guess that program ended in like 2017, 2018. Me and another guy were in charge of this basically foreign weapons group that basically just put on ranges for like high profile people like Congress people and their staff, senators and their staff, directors of agencies, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It was a super good gig. And I had unlimited ammo, unlimited weapons. It was all based on tactical collections. But anyway, that's a time that's gone past. All right. So we've got a Tikka T3 Super Light in 308. And I'm going to rod the rings off of it. Because these are Vortex PMR rings, which are made by Seekins. So we'll have a little Seekins setup. And they should be just the right height. These are excellent rifles. Come on, you. God, they're long. These Tikka T3s are really good factory rifles. In that sub $1,000 range, they might be tops. I had a Kimber Pro Hunter, which is the Cerakoted version, and that's a dandy mountain rifle. But the issue I had, and that's a SWFA 3-15 front focal plane Milquad. These are excellent scopes. But for hunting, I like illuminated reticle. So the best one I've got right now in an illuminated reticle that's not got crap tons of magnification is that Credo. So that's what we're going with. But I had a Kimber Pro Hunter Pro, whatever. I think they're exclusive through Cabela's. And it was out of headspace from the factory, which for a $1,000 rifle, that seems a bit ridiculous. I would hazard a guess. So, God, that's tight. I like it. I like it a lot. Come on, get in there. Yeah. So, it was in 308. I like 308. For most anything, it will do the daggum job. How are we looking? Oh, yeah, we're looking good on clearance. Right? Shit. so this front ring needs to come back. One jobby. And we're pretty good there. I'm kind of long, so. But anyway, back to the kimber. So the reason I don't have kimbers anymore. So when you're mounting these rings, you go full forward. So what I do is I'll just hold it, just put a little tension on that bottom part. Well, I just kind of tight. You know, it ain't got to be wicked tight. You know, you can tighten it. You're going to tighten it all down anyway and torque it. But that way you're against that the recoil pad side of everything. So it's you don't have any slop. Potential slop. It's already fighting against something. And when you're going with optics and rifles and mounts and everything like this, it's you might as well do it right. So this guy on, man, I can be way back there. It's actually not bad. So the issue is, let's do this. Actually, yeah. So back to the kimber. I keep getting off on tangents. So the kimber was out of headspace from the factory, and I knew this. I wish I know I've got them laying around here somewhere, but the yeah, it's better anyway because it's totally clearing that ejection port. It was leaving a ring. This 308. So it was leaving a ring right there, right across that shoulder, all the way around, and it was real sticky on extraction, and I wasn't running anything hot through it. You know, like crappy factory loads, but it was ultra sticky. So let me crank this dude up. And I like these mag rings are just smooth and consistent, no grit, no nothing. They're just good quality scopes. And when Euro Optic had the deal on them, they were just a screeching deal. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't get into a lot of leveling and stuff because it's a hunting rifle, and I don't really sit level ever. So I don't know. I might do it on down the road, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. So the kimber, get in there. So I called Kimber and was like, "Hey, this thing's out of headspace," and I probably have 4 308s. I've got a 260, 243s, a 7mm 08. So I've got a lot of rifles that are chambered in something based on a 308. So 308 headspace gauge works on all of them. And so I had 2 headspace gauges. And so I checked everything, even the crappy loaner rifle, the Savage Edge, an edge, not an axis, but an edge. Everything was in headspace except for that Kimber. So I called Kimber, was like, "Hey, this thing's out of headspace." And they gave some bull snot story. "Oh, well, we do things differently here and blah, blah, blah. And our rifles aren't out of headspace." They were really, really difficult to deal with. And so eventually I was like, "Listen, this thing's terrible. You got to check it out." "Oh, okay, well, we'll check it out." So I sent it in. They sent it back saying it was fine. So I sent it back. And I was like, "Well, I got nothing but time." Actually, I will level it. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to do it with Jason's face. And man, that's pretty tough to beat there. So, let's see here. So we're on... So going from ring to base, I'll just do it with 15-ish. Bump him up to 20. There's 20. Same thing. And then go to 25. Now, if this makes a difference, I don't know what it does. It's just OCD Jason. This is how Jason does it. So the scopes, however, the only scopes that call for more than like 18 inch-pounds are Night Force that I'm aware of. I know that the SWFAs, they've got thick tubes, and you can torque them to 30 or 40 inch-pounds, just like the Night Force scopes, but most everything else calls for like 15 to 18. I think Trijicon's actually like 22. For now, I'm gonna put it at 18, and then if it's different, I'll look it up, and if it's different, I'll just add a little bit. It's not a big deal. So we are at 25 on the rings to base. Go give that an extra torque. And then come back down to 12 or so. And then I just like stuff to be even for no real reason other than I'm OCD. And then I cross tighten, so I go from one corner to the other corner. So we got tighten there, tighten there, tighten there, tighten there. And then we'll loosen this guy up a little bit because I just like it to be even. Tighten there, tighten there, tighten there, tighten there. And then we'll bump him up to 17 or so. So eventually I sent the Kimber back 3 times, and they finally sent it to somebody and checked it. It was like, oh yeah, the headspace is out. They put a new barrel on it, and I told them that the Cerakote was flaking off of it. Like, it was basically spray paint. And, that needed to be redone. They didn't do that. So basically, I just stopped dealing with Kimber. I sent that boy down the road. I ended up trading it for a Browning '06 that's sitting there in the box. It's never been shot. But it is what it is. So there's that. So, looks mighty sexy. Everything cleared. Probably should have checked that beforehand. Everything clears nicely with that mag ring, and that's pretty close, but I think it'll be fine. Now the triggers are set to about 3 pounds from the factory. To me, that's fine. It doesn't need to be any lighter than that on a hunting rifle. So this ended up being nearly perfect with Seekins does 0.82, 0.87, so on and so forth. These are 0.87 rings, 30 millimeter. My other set of Seekins are the 6.4s, which they don't make anymore. It's actually 6 holes for the rear, 2 for the front. I don't know why. I think it's had something to do with 50 cals. But I've just had really good luck with them. They don't need lapping. They never need lapping. Everything's just really good quality when it comes to Seekins. And then the Trijicons are quite good. Supposedly, per Trijicon, there's no difference between this and the 10 mile. I don't know. We'll see. I had this on an SPR AR, and I ran out to 750, and it seemed to track pretty good. They do have zero stop. They're not dead on zero stop, but they're pretty close. The illumination, like I said, is quite good. I like the illumination. It doesn't over bleed out and stuff. The parallax is pretty good and forgiving. The eye box is actually quite forgiving. Going from 2.5 all the way up to 15, there's not a lot of movement in there, which is really good for a hunting scope / kind of tactical. And these, they have a capped windage. And these I like because it says right and left. It's marked. So let me get in there. See, so you can never get lost on it, which I really like. Some don't do that, like the SWFA actually. It's a 3 to 15, and you can see it. There's no indication right or left. It's on the side here, but not here. It is on the Trijicon. So the Trijicon to me is a little bit more finished optics. So let's give it a weight. Pause one. Okay. So this is with the Tenebrex cover, everything installed. Seekins 20-minute base, Seekins 30mm low rings, 0.87s, and a Trijicon Credo 2.5 to 15 on the Christensen Ridgeline FFT. Our final weight, 7 pounds, 9.5 ounces. So that's pretty daggone good. So, and I never actually went on why we went to 7 PRC. So the 7 PRC, the reason that we went with it instead of like a 7 mag, wow, 7 pounds, 9.5 ounces. That's like 7.5 pounds finished, minus ammo. That's awesome. That's outstanding. So actually, let's do this. So the PRC family, they're all semi-spec cartridges. So this is a Remington Model 7 QU. I killed my bear with this, 308. So it's got the Model 7 short action, like short action, and then an SWFA 6 power. Let's see where you're at. So that's 6 pounds. It's dead on 7 pounds. So that's exceptional. And this was what, 7.5? A little over 7.5. So for a full, this is a 16-inch barrel, and tally light rings, lightweight ring, ultralight rings, whatever. So 9.5 ounces more gets you a long action, a full profile barrel, like heavy barrel, granted it's carbon, and 22-inch tube. So the issue with the short barrels like this, I love this little rifle, don't get me wrong, but the issue with it is your bullet speed. I like to run monos. I stopped with the whole cup and core bullets for hunting because, you know, getting lead in your meat is just kind of gross. And if you've been around hunting and reloading and shooting as much as I have with, 24 years in the Army, yeah, I've been around a lot of lead, so I kind of just decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore. I mean, for just plinking, it's totally cool, but when it comes to something that I'm going to eat, my kids are going to eat, whatever, I just decided to go to the monolithic route, and I've tried a lot of them. I've killed critters with the Nosler E-tips. They do pretty well. You need a lot of speed though. The Barnes has issues with fouling, but they'll kill critters pretty good too. But what a lot of people, and Barnes in some of the companies say, no, you don't need it. And in my experience, which isn't tremendous, I'll grant you, you really need 2,000 feet per second for those monos and on impact. And that's kind of where this PRC comes into play. It's a high ballistic projectile with that 7 mil, so it's got, and then it gets a ton of steam because it's essentially a 7 mag that's designed to shoot the long, heavy, sleek high BC bullets. And when you're shooting monos, a monolithic bullet that say weighs 165 grains is much longer than a cup and core bullet, which is just a copper cup with a lead core in the same weight range. So it has to make up in length essentially to get that weight. And there are instances where there's minimums on caliber and weight and stuff like that. So, for instance, like if you ever put in for the Grand Canyon bison hunt, you have to shoot something more than 165 grains, and I think they actually implemented a minimum of a 30 cal. Now, the stupid thing is that we ran marks out to 1150 on a 1/4 inch steel plate, and it was knocking dense. It was knocking dense with that 175 ELDX crap. It was knocking noticeable dents in that 1/4 inch plate at 1150, and that were equal to the dents that, this isn't scientific, but equal to the dents that the 30-06 was putting on it at 500. So does it double the range? Yeah, maybe. I mean, it actually might. You've got way more speed, so your impact velocities at 1,000 yards with that 175 out of this are about 2,000 feet per second, 1,800 to 2,000 feet per second, depending on what bullet you're shooting or what load you're shooting or whatever. 30-06 at 1,000 yards might be doing 1,200. So it's that's a massive difference. So we decided to go this route instead of the 7 mag, mainly because belted rounds, they're iffy. Case life is iffy on them. Right now, the only thing available for this is the Hornady stuff. Hopefully, Lapua or ADG will come out with brass. Peterson's even, and we'll be able to get some good quality brass because the Hornady brass is just terrible. But it'll have to do for now. So, but that's it. That's the Christensen Arms FFT Carbon. So we came in at a grand total of 7 pounds, 9.5 ounces for a fully kitted empty rifle, which to me is quite good. So yeah, we'll get to shooting it and seeing how it would pan out and all that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is without a doubt at least the most expensive rifle I own. Actually, no, that's a lie, because I've got a pre-64 Model 70. So, but pretty close. But I don't shoot that Model 7. I plan on humping this in the backcountry quite a lot. I can't wait to get it zeroed, see how it shoots, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, thanks for watching. I know this was an extremely long video. I definitely didn't intend that, but for the few that are actually going to care about this, probably care about, the Christensen Arms, the 7 PRC, so on and so forth, aren't going to care that it's a really long video because there's going to be 4 of you that watch it. But I enjoy making it. I'm super stoked to put some rounds down through this thing, see what we're working with, and I'll video that. Mark has my chrono. He has my magneto speed, so I won't be able to chrony it because I'm not buying another magneto just for the hell of it. But we'll be able to get some accuracy done and some load development and stuff like that, hopefully. I've got some of those Hornady CX 160 CX bullets, and so hopefully they'll shoot. I'm not super jazzed about them. I never really am with Hornady stuff. It just, these cartridges are phenomenal. There's no denying that. But they really haven't done anything from the ground up. I mean, they've just taken another cartridge and changed it around a little bit and oh, this is new and this is awesome. And it is. It's, there's no denying this is a fantastic cartridge. Along with a 300 PRC. The 300 PRC is like a friggin' missile strike. And then the 6.5 PRC is, they should have never even done the Creedmoor. I mean, the Creedmoor, we have a Creedmoor. My son shoots it in the Browning X-Bolt. It's okay, but it's not awesome. It's not nearly as good as what everybody thinks it is. But the 6.5 PRC is pretty legit. But anyway, we'll get to it. We'll start doing some load development with this. I got a whole bunch of powder to work with. Not a lot of bullets, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We'll get some factory ammo. I'll get Dan's rifle put together when his brother sends me his scope. So might just do another one, do a complete comparison. He's got the 10 mile that's going on his. He got a steely deal on it from Euro Optic. So I'm kind of stoked to see the differences between those. I also have a comparison. He's in Africa, so he's sending me all kinds of stuff to do comparisons on. I've got some GPO, German Precision Optics, binos, side-by-sides that I'm going to do, side-by-side comparisons with the GPO stuff, the 10x42 in the ED and the HD Passion. And then I'll have the Credo and the 10 mile. So that'll be cool. His is getting a tally base. He ordered me a tally base too, but I'd already ordered the seekins base, and I just want to get it sorted out. But I'm pretty stoked. I actually need to mark those screws. I totally forgot about that. I'll do that later. But anyway, thanks for watching. I super appreciate you guys. I'm up over 300 subscribers, which is crazy to me. I know I've got a lot of different videos, but I've got a lot of irons in the fire. So if I did a video for everything I like to do, or a channel for everything I like to do, I'd have all kinds of dumb stuff going on. So I like shooting, I like hunting, I like fishing, woodworking, farming, crittering, all that, honeybees. So I'm just going to leave it all on one. If you like it, cool. If you like this kind of stuff, thumbs up, comment. I love comments. That excites me. I love responding to them. I love, I've like with the axe videos, a lot of people have made suggestions. I got another axe coming up. I got an antique chopper one off eBay for $50. So I've got to get a spring kit for it. It's not here yet, but so I'll get a video on it. We got some splitting to do, so there'll be a lot of splitting and axe videos coming in. We'll do some shooting. Maybe run this out to 1,000. Actually, it's just under 1,000, 980 or something like that. It should do well. But we got to see if we don't even know if it shoots, so we got to find out if it shoots. But anyway, thanks. My son said that I need to remind people about thumbs up and subscribing and all that stuff. If you do, cool. If not, well, I ain't gonna make it. But anyway, he told me that I should do it, so I'm doing it. But this is like a 45-minute video. So yeah, I apologize for all the rants and all that stuff, but it does take a little bit of time to put these together. But anyway, thank you very much.